Now, if you have not already, please follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. My DMs are open, so if we did not get to your question on today's mailbag, they are open and you can slide on in. From CJ DeYoung III, a $5 super chat. Thank CJ. Everyone type CJ in the comments. Hey, Tom, can you do a follow-up draft show that talks about how all the draft gurus stack up against each other, including you? Thanks. So 2 follow-up questions here for you, CJ. Do you mean like from a big board perspective, or do you mean mock draft perspective? Because the guys over at the Huddle Report do the full mock draft results, which I think after this year, the 5-year average got a chance to be around the top 10 compared to everybody. So, but CJ, let me know, and I appreciate your super chat on today's show. From Mark, I'm all for getting a QB not as good as Dak and spending all that saved money on some great guys. Problem is, I have no confidence Jerry Jones would do that to get any good free agents. That is a very valid concern from Mark. Appreciate your $5 super chat as well. Like, they have not shown a willingness to spend in free agency. They had the ideal window, right? Rookie quarterback contract, and yeah, they had an extra year of Romo's dead money that really wasn't all that much. What'd they spend on? Nobody. They didn't do anything. They rolled into the year with Allen Hurns and Cole Beasley and Deontay Thompson. Like, this is a good receiving core. No, they didn't try to be aggressive then. So that is a big concern for me. Like, do you trust this team to build a better roster with a worse quarterback? I'm not sure I do. From Andrew. #NFL, would the Cowboys trade CeeDee Lamb? I don't see it happening. Lamb might do the hold out or the hold in thing, but he's not going to be the demand to trade. I don't want to be here anymore guy. Remember, team players do the hold outs and hold in stuff to get paid by their current team. That's what they're trying to accomplish. They're trying to increase the timeline of that and force some movement on that front. So I know that there's reported that Lamb might hold out. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I would be shocked if they actually flipped CeeDee Lamb as part of it. So name a player, this could be any team, any player, that you want to see traded. Go ahead and sound off with the pinned comment of today's video. The ad comes on YouTube. That's great. No one cares about the ad. Ignore it. Go vote at the pinned comment instead. From Lore, which offensive lineman will fall to the Niners on day one, or should they just trade down to the pick? I think a guy like Jordan Morgan could be there for him. I think that could be a really good fit. Right tackle wise, maybe Tyler Guyton's there. I think Kingsley Suamataia could be a good fit. He's played a lot of zone blocks. I know the Niners have done more gap stuff in recent, year. But I think Suamataia or Morgan could be there. In a great offensive line class, those guys might go earlier in a normal one. Bulls Nation. Houston trades John Metchie to Carolina for next year's third. I don't think they'd actually get a future third for him. Coming off a year in which he didn't play because of the cancer diagnosis, and then not doing much in year two, great story. You want him to, everyone's going to cheer for him. I don't think the actual NFL trade value is all that high at this stage. I would guess that the value is a little bit lower. And maybe a mid to early day 3 pick could make some more sense. Is a good name, though, for Carolina. I do think that makes sense because they need to get some more wide receiver help, and there's some Bryce Young overlap there. Gary Sanderson, Tom, who are some of my guys this draft? Okay, good question. Let me pull up my notes here. So running back, I'll try to name a couple of different positions here. Running back, I want to make Marshawn Lloyd great. I don't know if he has the vision at all. He's kind of blind with some fumbling issues. I'm a big fan of Jalen Wright out of Tennessee as well. I guess I'm going to be higher than most on Xavier Legette. That's fine with me, though. I have no complaints on that front there. I don't actually like this tight end class very much. I think it's kind of mediocre, if I'm being honest. I don't have anybody that really stands out to me. I love Amarius Mims in the first round. I think he's going to be a really, really good football player. I like Gabriel Murphy out of USC, Muhammad Kamara out of Colorado State is like some day 3 guys. Defensive tackle-wise, it's an okay class. I guess it'll be higher than most on Johnny Newton in terms of like the first-round guys. Highly intrigued by Justin Aboijbe on day 3. I think that's a rare, underrated Alabama prospect. Linebacker-wise, I think you'll see a lot of people say that the Temple kid, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on it right now. Jordan McGee. I think people are going to like him a lot as they eventually get to him. I think Tevin Wallace is a good name. I hate the safety class, by the way. I don't think it's very good. I want to believe in Kalen Bullock. I want to make him a thing. I think Mikey Sainristil, that's my type of guys. And it's a guy that I think is going to be a really good player, even though he's small and undersized. And you know what? I want to believe in Quantez Stiggers, too, because it's an awesome story. Played in the CFL last year and is now draft eligible. So hopefully he ends up being a fun NFL player as well. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. They've got deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. By the way, when you're doing Game Time, always keep an eye out for some of their deals. That includes, flash deals, sponsored deals, and zone deals. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings in the process. And you can get tickets not just for sporting events, NBA, MLB, concerts, comedy, theater as well. So download the Game Time app to take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Yeah, $20 off. That's CHATSPORTS, ChatSports, for $20 off. Terms do apply, but again, create your account over at GameTime.co, download the app, and redeem code ChatSports for $20 off. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. CJ again, a $5. He says, I guess I mean mock draft. What's the difference? Sorry for not knowing. Never apologize. You're fine. Big board basis is like how accurate were the grades of the players? Like, did you get the player right? Mock draft is, did you get the draft pick projection right? From Martin, I think Patrick Paul is a sleeper for my boys. That is the Houston offensive tackle. He definitely fits what the Cowboys historically like in offensive tackles. They like athletic players with arm length. Patrick Paul ran a 5.13 40 with 40 bench, despite having 36-inch arms at 6'7", 331. I don't think he goes round 1, but I think on day 2, somebody will snag him. Eric Lockhart, will the Giants take a quarterback or wide receiver? Depends on which quarterback is there. If J.J. McCarthy, I think, organically gets to 6, I wouldn't be shocked if they took him. If he's not there, or even if they don't like him, I think receiver makes so much sense. I don't think Marvin Harrison's going to be there, but they can take Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze, and both those guys give them the type of dynamic and or bigger body at receiver that they don't really have. If you're the Giants and you stand pat at 6, you walk out of that draft with Malik Neighbors from LSU or Rome Odunze from Washington, I think you feel great about that pick. From Sawyer, are the Malik Neighbors character concerns real? Who knows? Maybe to an extent, but allow me to put it to you this way. They are not going to impact his draft stock. There's not going to be some Laramie Tunsil slide suddenly on draft day. He's going to be an earlier pick, and he's my number 2 overall player behind Marvin Harrison Jr. I think someone's going to get a damn good football player. Who is your number 1 prospect in this year's NFL draft? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. From Cameron, do you think the Bills and Cowboys are taking a step back so far in the offseason? Think the draft could help them get better? Yes and yes. The draft can help. You need to draft players to help you in year 1 when you're a playoff team. But I would argue it's basically impossible to say the Bills and Cowboys are better on paper this year than what they were last year. Both teams have lost a bunch of players. The Bills at least have made some other moves, and you can see their plan of reset, be better in the future. The Cowboys' plan is do nothing. very uninspiring. Callie Lama, thoughts on the Patriots extension with Kyle Duggar? I love his game. I think he's a great football player, so I like it. They have money to burn, by the way, too. So retaining your good players, I think, is certainly a good idea. Now, if you enjoy our NFL mailbags, thanks. Make sure you are subscribed as well. Hit that sub button right here on the channel. From Howard, is Corey Trice still a viable option at corner for the Steelers with no injuries? Trice kind of falls into an awkward position where, you didn't get to see him at all last year, and he was a 7th-round pick. Now, injuries were a big factor in that conversation. I had a 4th-round grade on him, but you can't bank on an injured corner to be a key part of your team. So I think you kind of keep him on your roster, hope something develops, but if somebody's there you love early on, you still got to take that guy. Christopher C. After the first 2 rounds, I think some late-round targets from the Steelers should be Renardo Green, that is the Florida State safety, and corner. Florida State receiver Johnny Wilson, Washington wide receiver Jalen Polk, or Rutgers cornerback Max Melton. Thoughts on these players' games? I think a couple of those guys might go round 2. I could see Max Melton sneaking in. That's the Rutgers corner sneaking into round 2. I like his game a lot. I've got I think it's an early 3rd-round grade on him. Let me check. Yeah, 3rd-round grade on him there. Jalen Polk, I have a 2nd-round grade on. I think he's going to go in the 2nd round. Renardo Green is a very talented corner, fun player to watch as well out of Florida State. I think a good sleeper name for like 3rd round maybe. I don't know where Johnny Wilson goes. Still don't know if he's a tight end or a wide receiver, but I think 3rd, 4th round stands out for him too. From Mason, why isn't Michael Penix a top 5 player? He's clearly better than J.J. McCarthy. Well, I don't know if the NFL agrees with you, because certainly would guess that McCarthy goes before Michael Penix. Look, there are a lot of things to like about Penix, to be clear. I think as a pure passer, this is probably a top 2 prospect this year. The difference is he's 24 years old as a first-year player. There are major medical red flags. He's got the arm strength, the general accuracy. Sometimes he kind of got bailed out by his incredible receiving core at Washington. But, shoulder and knee injury, red flags. And when he was moved off of his spot, when he had to make plays a little bit more outside of structure, especially not including that Texas game where he did do some good things, it wasn't very good. It wasn't great. He had an outlier success rate with contested catches, by the way, which kind of is, I think, a bit of a red flag. I don't love that necessarily. There's a lot of those in there. And I think between the medical and the out of structure concerns, those things matter. 10 years ago, he probably is a top 5 pick. This in the current meta of the NFL, maybe he goes top 15, or maybe he slides a bit. How many quarterbacks do you think end up going in round 1? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. Gary Sanderson, Tom, who's your not my guys? Oof, man, getting a little negative there back to back. Players that I do not believe I will be as high on as the consensus, quote unquote. I kind of don't see it with Ennis Rakestraw out of Missouri. I got like more of a 3rd-round grade on him. I have anxiety over J.C. Latham. I chop Robinson. I get the appeal. It concerns me there. Depending on how you feel about guys like Troy Franklin, Tavondre Sweat, Darius Robinson, probably won't be as high on some of those guys as well. Think of other players. If you got a second on Malachi Corley, you're going to be higher on him than me. That's because I don't know if he can play receiver. He might have to be a running back. He doesn't run routes well at all. He's going to be a gadget guy, which he's a dynamic gadget guy, but does need some help. Last one from DC times Viper. Is Justin Jefferson going to be traded on draft night? No, he will not be traded on draft night. That's not. I would be blown away if Minnesota did that. The whole point of trying to get a quarterback is to help Justin Jefferson and have a QB for him and not have him become disgruntled. I'll be blown away if he's moved on night 1 of the NFL draft.